Matt Fantastic over here at Game Trade Media. They are nice enough to have me on to talk about our game Before There Were Stars. For those of you who don't know me, I'm pretty awesome, but you should look it up because it's real fact. To my left, you're right.
I'm George. I am an employee and manager at Games and Stuff in Glen Burnie, Maryland.
I was laughing at me.
And sometimes I play games, and today's one of those days.
Nice. Hi, I'm Paul. I'm the owner of Games and Stuff down in Glen Burnie, Maryland. I like storytelling games, and I'm here to participate.
I'm Rick. I'm the production manager here at Game Trade Media. You all know me because my face is on everything.
Including my refrigerator.
And I'm Natasha.
This is, I'm glad to say that we have all done the best intros. The short answer is really you just gotta pick up the newest issue of Game Trade Media, where you're gonna find stuff about us and the things that we do. Right? So,
That's absolutely true.
So there's that. There you go. That's how you do it. Showbiz. So we are going to be looking at a game that I co-designed. It's being published by Smirk and Laughter Games. It is called Before There Were Stars. And what it is it is a constellation-driven myth-building game. It is competitive, not cooperative, although obviously you can play in a more cooperative way pretty easily. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be rolling dice that have pips, but they're stars, and we're going to be using those stars on the dice to purchase different constellations, right? So I'm going to roll a big fistful, and if I want the grave as a story element, I'm going to be able to claim it if I have a 3, a 5, and a 6, right? We're going to do 4 rounds of claiming constellations and telling elements of our mythology, right? So the first chapter is in the beginning, and that's what we're going to start with, and we're going to have 2 cards. So we're going to do 2 buys, and then we're going to use those as sort of like the foundational elements of our mythology, right? So this is maybe the all-seeing eye, or the Titan carved from clay, or the nothingness, right? So you're going to use that and kind of build your story. You're going to have these characters that recur throughout. The structure is really, we are going to just take 60 seconds. We have this cool little timer app that you guys can see here. That's a free companion app, and it does this cute little thing where this hemisphere moves, and there's a light cue when the sun comes up. It's not an alarm. It's just like some roosters and birds. And so it says actually wrap it up. 60 seconds, we're each going to tell our story. And then after we tell our story, we have our cute little purses here. And what we're going to put in our purses is one of 4 stars for each person. So my red purse is going to pass around. And as the purse passes around, we're going to be putting in stars, these little star tokens. So we have blue stars that are worth 2 points, yellow stars that are worth 3 points, and orange stars that are worth 4 points. And so based on whatever we enjoyed, whatever element it is, whatever our reasoning for enjoying that story the most, that section of the story the most, we're going to put the appropriate color into that bag, right? So we're going to start by passing, then we're going to be putting in the bag, so it's a blind reward system. We're not going to look at this bag until the very end of the game. That's pretty much it, I think. I think we're good to go. Okay. We can start playing. Remember, there's 60 seconds to tell your story. And the biggest piece of advice I give to people is sometimes train wrecks are even more entertaining and fun. So don't stress.
Now, when we have the constellations, like how, and you say we were talking about our characters and things like that, how do we get the characters? How do we do that?
You make
just
it. You make
all
it up.
on you.
Yeah.
All from the
Maybe
floor.
it's not even characters. There's 5 cards, so this is the 5 that we're going to see to start to buy. So I can go first, so you guys can take a look at what it is. So here I go. I'm going to roll these, and then I'm going to look at what there is first and see if there's anything that I particularly want. I want that elephant, hopefully. So I got a 3, I got a 5, and oh, thank God, I did get a 4. So, I don't actually have to put it on there, but you can see the way
They match up.
that those match up, and those are the stars that make the constellation. So I'm going to have done that. Pass it down. I claim the elephant. The elephant will be mine.
I rolled the same
We
heat.
refill? We refill, right?
We refill, yes. And in the actual game, there is a second set of star dice, which I don't know where those might be, so you're kind of like rolling and planning ahead a little bit.
I roll all of these guys?
Yep.
All right. So,
So I don't know. I want somebody. Oh, I talked about the road earlier. So maybe
100%.
sixes.
I'm taking the mouth.
The mouth, that's a good one.
Now, isn't there a way that we can choose to draw blindly off the deck?
You can, if you just don't like anything that you have,
Got
you
it.
can just top deck.
Trying to remind myself there.
Oh, I totally forgot to alert our more sensitive viewers that this is probably going to end up not safe for work. Probably because we're going to curse, maybe, but also because of serious thematic elements.
Adult content.
Adult content. I'm
But
gonna
not
take-
like boners and stuff. Adult content, like dead kids, and genocide and stuff.
I'm taking the hammer. On that note, I'm taking the hammer.
Whoa.
Also, if you enjoy the concept of this game but would prefer more traditional, lighthearted mythology telling, we highly suggest that you check out the playthrough that is also on GTM with Kurt, who is the publisher, and co-designer Alex, and some of the GTM people. And I know they did a playthrough that's a little more traditional, I guess.
So I rolled my dice, 3, 5, and 6, because I would like the grave.
So you're starting with a grave. That's good.
Okay. Let's see.
A lot
Alright,
of sixes.
I'm gonna go for
You need the road?
yes.
You need it?
The liar.
Oh no, you're a liar.
Damn it.
There.
That's what I want. Illusions, Michael. Let me see. I kind of want to go merchant and the elephant.
I love that idea. That's
It's gonna
great.
get weird. Oh no, I don't. Oh wait, no.
622?
226. Got it.
You got 62.
Boom.
There it is.
Got the merchant.
Nice.
Remember, roll on frame.
There you go.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna while we're focused on this and less exciting storytelling.
Take the mother.
Maybe I'll just
I gotta
talk a little bit about the way the game was made, something like that, right? So Alex, my co-designer, had this incredible idea of using pips as stars to buy or to involve constellations, right? And so he brought that to us, and we were like, "What? We need to make that game." So we spent a really long time trying to figure out what that game was.
Right.
We first went down a road. Oh, what do we got?
I gotta do the hammer and the axe.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like it.
I can dig it.
But we tried stuff with like an engine building.
All right, now
sort of
hang up.
situation.
So we're at 2. Do we start telling stories now?
We will.
Right, okay, right. So once
Yeah.
it gets around, we're at 2. Okay. All right.
We will.
All right. 3, 5, and 6. The cloak.
Nice.
The Duke.
But yeah, so we started out with this kind of engine building sort of thing to court the king, something like that, and then realized after much trial and error that this game is really is really about the storytelling, right? The constellations. So professional.
Thanks. Well, I was scoping the cards
That's
as
why.
I was getting ready to roll.
That's
so
why
I was
you're
like,
the talent.
I thought you were trying to do the illusionary roll
nice.
like Matt did
Yeah.
when she choked. No, you were busy. You were busy checking the cards out. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, it was all
John's
planned.
dead.
It was all part of the plan. I'm gonna go with the kiss.
What was your first one? Oh, the lie. Oh, that's great.
Ooh.
That's great. Good
Yeah, no
start.
Okay.
pressure.
Oh, actually, these get dumped.
Oh, they get dumped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And this
I guess
is-
I'll be
we
the
don't see
dump.
this
They
yet.
went, yeah.
We don't see that yet.
I didn't
All
see
right.
nothing.
We don't know what
So
you're talking
now we're going to take a little second. We kind of think about what our story is going to be. I am in a really rough way because I'm also trying to concentrate on like being good at the TVs. So somebody else entertain these people.
What,
So
while
what
you're
do you
thinking?
think?
So-
How long do
Yeah,
you need to think?
I don't know, like 20 seconds. I just need like a clear.
needs a minute so he can stop focusing on the
I need
camera.
a moment
Yeah.
of not like.
Rick,
you know,
do a dance.
I've done a dance. I've been dancing the whole time.
Oh,
You guys
right.
aren't
I guess
paying
you're
attention.
sort
It's
of
just under the
professional
table.
dance.
It's under the
Yeah.
table.
Yeah.
It's actually under the table
the
here.
table.
Matt, make up a story under the cover of Blather.
Oh, do you want Does it have
So-
to start with you?
Usually, I mean,
Okay.
you usually do the same, but yeah, actually, the game is freeform enough that you can just kind of, if you really feel strongly about doing something
Sure.
in a particular order, you're really excited, or you're like, I'm not ready at all. Like, there are rules that are written in the rule book, but once you have the general idea of what the shape of the game is, you can definitely, mold it a little bit around to exactly the experience you want, right? If you're into the idea of using pips on stars to purchase constellations, which you're then using to build a mythology of your people, like the fuzziness around that, we have our thoughts on what it is the best way to do that,
Sure.
and some of the, the best structure that we like the most. But if you're like, hey, you know what, we want to like do open scoring, fine, whatever, man. Like, do what makes you happy, right? The experience is telling these stories and building the mythology.
Right.
Everything else is kind of there to help shape that experience, but not the focus.
All right.
So you can see that chapter 1 in the beginning, that's where we're starting. So you can start literally within the beginning, or you can just kind of jump into it freeform a little bit. I personally like the little crutch of in the beginning. Maybe sometimes, I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna start this timer here, and I'm gonna dive in, and I apologize.
Making excuses already.
Yeah.
So there was great darkness, and in that darkness, there was a merchant. And this merchant didn't really recognize that he was a merchant yet, because there wasn't anything to sell and no one to sell it to. But the merchant, much like Plato's shadows in the cave, did not realize that there is a world outside of the darkness. And after many years of wandering about in the darkness, she hit the edge of that darkness of the world and looked out and saw that there were many things, brightnesses, a whole world that existed. And when looking back at the darkness, it was discovered that the darkness was actually a shadow cast by an enormous elephant.
Wow.
All right.
I don't know. That's pretty,
Ah.
I don't
Okay.
know, man.
No
We'll
pressure.
See. We'll see how step 2 goes.
I don't get it. No, just kidding.
We'll see how step 2 goes. Also, I forgot that we're going to do this little thing here.
Building.
So what we're going to do is we're going to put these cards out so you guys can see the elements that we're actually using if you forgot at home. So you guys can see that okay, right? So we'll put that there so George can see it all right. You got it? Let me know when you're ready to go.
Molly.
All right. So, in the beginning, there was a great and infinite, boundless sea of nothing but absence. And at the very center of this infinite sea sat the mother whose body was not but black and riddled with the stars, which were also her eyes. She, feeling the need that the mother requires, she took up the fibers of blackness and wove them into the cosmos. And upon its full manifestation, as it unfurled in front of her, she went to put in the last stitch and pricked her lip, her mouth, with the needle, and the drop of blood that fell put life into the darkness.
Wow.
Yeah. All right.
And that's George, everybody. We all have to come after that.
Right, we got Paul here,
Yep.
the hammer and the axe.
All right, I'm good. So in the beginning, there was naught but a field of grass, as far as the eye can see, and onto this field of grass came the woman who wielded the hammer, and she was called the smith. And when she came upon the field of grass, she started building, and others of her kind, the rest of human folk, came out from the great expanses and helped her to build this village, and eventually the village grew into a city. Now, the smith, having come from the east, had a certain way of viewing things, but from the west came the warrior, he who wielded the axe. And upon finding this grand city that the smith had built, he said, "This is nonsense. We have to defend ourselves. You sit here digging in the dirt and putting up these hovels, but none of this will defend you against the darkness that is to come." The smith said, "Darkness? we've seen nothing but light in life, and we want to flourish and grow. And the warrior grew angry at this, and striking his axe into the ground, left the city and headed out back to the west.
All right.
Okay.
So, you can be very pretentious about the game if you want. You can also just tell like a story about like a cloak that looked like a boner and then fell into a grave hole, and then that was humanity. Right? You know, whatever.
Right.
Did you just call me pretentious?
You can do that.
You can also,
But I am not.
Wow.
You ready to go?
I am ready to go.
All right.
All right. So, in this beginning, not in the beginning, because this isn't the first beginning. In this beginning, from the last age, there was only left a grave, and in that grave sprouted a figure, a cloaked figure, and that individual is he without shape and she with no name. And from her cloak and his shape, all of the universe was spawned. That's it.
Damn.
Ooh.
All right, you fit in with the weird kids.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right.
In the beginning, before there was truth and lies and justice, there was he who spoke nothing but truth, but did not know that this was what he was speaking until he met her, the one with the viable, horrible kiss that broke their livelihood. He met her along a road, and it was a dark, dark road, for there was just stars everywhere. And she twisted her words and his with that kiss, and he became the liar.
All right. So,
All right.
it's great. It's great. It's great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our little purses, our little story sacks, and we are
Go
going to
left?
pass it to the left. And then now
Here's
we are
my
going
sack.
to take our
my
little
sack,
stars,
Rick.
All right.
and we are going to add them.
All right, so the blues are
We're
worth
going to add
2.
one to each sack as it passes by you. So you want to keep track of what you think you wanted to do,
Blues are worth
and you're
2.
going to keep it secret.
Okay. All right. I'm thinking still, yo.
Okay.
All right, hang on. There's that.
Yeah, we're not
Red.
bantering this. You,
Yeah,
you're
we're focused.
You
We're
had promised.
focused.
You'd promised
okay.
to
You didn't
banter.
say that.
Remembering the
Thumbs.
stories.
We're thinking. We're remembering the
That-
stories.
Yeah, we're
true.
remembering the stories.
Remembering the
and
stories.
Whose bag is whose.
Yeah.
Whose bag
I mean,
is whose?
you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just
All right,
saying, like
orange.
Banter
There you
Town.
go.
Okay,
Banter
all right.
Town over here.
All right. Banter Town. That's a different story.
Who runs Banter Town?
I run Banter Town.
Coming on down to
And then
Bantertown.
purple.
There's your sack.
All right. So
Master
when you get your little bag
Blaster.
back, yeah, exactly.
I just had it.
Exactly.
My sack has been returned. My
Nice.
purse.
All right.
My purse sack.
So now we are back in the mix here. We're gonna flip over 5 more constellations.
How did it feel holding my sack in your hands?
What are we doing? This
I don't
is,
get it.
Me neither.
It's dry.
How am I the
Yeah.
serious one?
Right?
You guys.
So this one I see on the card.
So the way this works is we are now at the dawn of civilization. There are 2 new cards and then 1 previous card. So basically,
okay.
and you can use both of your previous cards, but you're basically going to have to use 2 new cards as
Okay.
incorporating figures or themes or whatever into your story, and then link it back to one of your older cards.
Okay.
And as you see, we are going to go through and continue linking back
Okay.
to other stuff. So that's how you're going to build kind of this pantheon, the recurring characters, themes, whatever.
Sure.
So, go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was going to say, so when we get our 2 cards this time, we have to use both of those this
Yeah,
time?
we're going to use both of them. So, if you
And so
look
this
right there,
represents the
that's
card that had
one of those.
from the
Yeah.
Yeah, the 2 yellows
Gotcha.
represent the, and then
Word.
the plus is the old one.
Yeah.
Right.
Word.
All right, so I am going to get in the mix here. And let me see what I got. I want that ant. All right, just made it. I'm going to take the ant,
Blasphemer.
pass it on.
So here's an interesting question. When you were designing it, what determined, what kind of thought went into like how many dice are required for any given element on a card?
So we did a lot of math, and we ultimately decided fuck math. and that we wanted to make constellations that look cool and were fun story elements, and were just kind of a rough mix. We struggled a lot with, should it be this, should it be that, and ultimately, I think it really, we didn't go wild. It's not completely unbalanced and super weird, but it's definitely something where we. The story and the elements and the art really is what drove that process more than, we need to have exactly this many and numerically this is that.
Sure.
We built like algorithm kind of stuff, but not like full algorithm.
I'm sorry, my stuff is not centered, but I've got short arms.
It's okay. What do you want?
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet, but as everybody's been mostly able to get what they wanted, but I know in the previous time we played, there were definitely instances where it was like, I can't get the card that I want because I don't have the dice.
Exactly.
So
I was curious about that.
yeah,
too.
the previous time I played,
it happens a fair bit, but the way we look at it really is that it's more a way of shaping your experience with the game.
Sure.
It's not about like trying to get the exact right combination, and it's a dice luck game.
So I have a couple ideas for all of this stuff, but I didn't know of any of them, so I'm gonna go crazy and draw this.
Ooh.
And I should probably show it.
Yeah, what do we got?
The snake.
Ooh, that was a good guess.
That's a
Yeah.
good one.
Snakes are always.
You're not
plan that
particularly
one.
familiar
Snakes-
with
I'm not
them
particularly familiar
or
with
their
snakes, right?
mythology.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's not a snake.
Curses.
Snakes arguably are my religion, but that's fine. I'm not gonna talk about that.
So what is this for?
So that we're going to talk about a little bit later at the end of the
Okay.
game, but the short answer is that it is during the last phase of the game where we give a bonus to people whose moments we enjoyed the most. We're going to be
okay.
calling out specific
Special moments.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see, I
It's a
see.
special moment token.
Okay.
You probably have a proper
Double
name for
threes
it.
for the ocean.
I don't know. The token.
Double threes for the ocean.
The reek.
The spider.
The spider. That's pretty good. But now I don't know where I'm going. Oh man.
We're getting two cards. We're getting two cards.
It's a merchant. Why
Yeah,
a fucking
two
merchant?
cards.
A merchant.
Merchant's great, dude.
He's all right.
Merchant's great.
You were so excited.
You can introduce
When
like
you saw merch, I gotta have
you
it.
can introduce commerce. You can introduce there's all kinds of stuff.
Commerce. Well, you can introduce commerce with the snake. Capitalist pig.
Hey, you're the one who picked the merchant, chief.
That's actually so little known fact.
Yeah.
Actually,
Meanwhile, I've got the workers over here, so I don't want to hear it.
So the forbidden fruit
Shield.
actually had the knowledge of capitalism in it. That was
All right.
that was actually what Adam and Eve discovered and were thrown out of Eden for.
Yep. Somebody tried selling Honeycrisp apples.
We could really invest in this apple market.
That's what I'm saying.
The spy. The spider. The spider and the ant. I feel like that's a little too much.
Is it?
I'm gonna top deck it.
You're top decking.
I'm going.
That's all right. It's cool.
The
Copycat.
soldier.
The soldier.
The soldier. Ooh, show the kids.
All right.
Show the kids at home.
All right, where are we at?
For those of you following along.
Oh, we're done. Oh no, we got one more. Sorry.
No, you all have one
I
more.
can't count. It's fine. I have to look at the pictures.
I mean, they are nice pictures too.
Oh yeah. Well, last time we played, there weren't any pictures.
Angel.
Yeah, one thing that I don't think we're showing because we didn't show it, but the box art here. I'm gonna grab
sure,
this.
here
Can
you
I
go.
grab this?
5 and 5.
Can I grab
Yeah, you want to go? You want to go?
Fox.
So
You wanna go here?
Come on.
Yeah.
George is trying to play the game,
Get it
man.
together, man.
Is taking fire.
This is another
Fire.
game.
Fire.
And replacing it with the sword.
I think that's pronounced sword.
So this is the
Yeah.
so this is the box
Oh,
art.
that's
Yeah, it's
cool.
beautiful.
That's a great
I
box.
think I'm doing okay with this.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So, Alex and I had this kind of like vague idea of what we thought would look cool. And, we talked about it with Kurt. And then Kurt was like, yeah, no, I got
We
it.
went with Cosmic Volpe.
And then Kurt was like, yeah, I'm thinking about using this artist. And we were both just like, okay. And then he got the work done and showed it to us. And I don't know if you can actually see this, but yeah, you kind of can. Like, my phone is actually like a picture of the artwork, right? And
Beautiful.
Alex's as well. We noticed it like the same day that we got the art. We were like, oh, you fucking asshole. I think it's you idiot. And there are many games that I think we've worked on that we don't have like as phone backgrounds, right? Like, so we were just really floored by the production Kurt gave it. Like the cover is just, I don't know, man. Like if I didn't like the game already, I would see that and want to know about it at least. Like it just, I don't know. That fox is so cool. Alex, you want to get cool fox tattoos?
I've only got one.
Is he back there?
He is back there.
Yeah, thumbs up. I see a thumbs up. All right.
It's like half my stuff out
So I think
there.
we're gonna get
All right.
cool fox tattoos.
6.
It's gonna be pretty sweet.
I could take the spy. I could take the tree. I could take the sword. I don't think I want the sword. I've already got a hammer and an axe. Am I gonna top deck again? The cards I won, I can't take. See, I've got my dice aren't happy.
Oh,
My dice aren't happy
yeah,
with me
look
right
at
now.
that.
Because I've only got 1 6 out there, so that immediately eliminates Spider and Angel. Although I
Got
could
the spy.
take, yeah, I could take tree, spy, or sword. Man.
Oh, what if it's a spy riding a snake?
What?
What?
But really though, how do you put a saddle on a snake?
Well,
I'm just saying.
yeah, where would you put it? By the head, middle?
Right.
How did,
I've tried.
So,
it's not
this-
easy.
the snake brings capitalism,
How
the
did
spy
Paul
brings
Mordy do
organized
it?
religion.
I'm taking the spy.
I was gonna say, how did Paul Mordy do it?
With a hook.
Yes.
And the angel brings
And a thumper.
with a hook.
And a thumper.
And the angel brings high
Thumper, is that what
fructose
it's called? A
corn syrup.
thumper?
From Dune?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ta-da! Did I get a 1 and a 5? Yes, I
Yep.
did. I'll take the
What are
tree,
you trying to
please.
take? Oh, taking the tree.
Tree. So basic.
Is it? We'll see.
Hey man, why you gotta be that way?
Because we need to like entertain the people
mean,
and just
yeah,
like building each other up is not creative.
The tree is a perfectly good mythic archetype.
It's
No
good.
mythic archetype shaming.
Listen, classics are classics for a reason. I agree.
Here we go.
Come on, come
I
on.
like that we all like hold our breath before you roll. Like everyone else is like a loud jerk when everybody else is going, and then
Fate unfurls.
like, ooh.
All right,
Wow, what are you taking?
the angel.
Oh,
All
All
right.
right, trash them.
oh right, they trash.
Trash
What do you got there
them.
for?
No,
You
You
didn't.
didn't
they're
want
no
them. You didn't
good.
want them. You didn't get
All
them.
right, trash goes.
Yeah.
You're up, fire demon.
All right. And so.
Yep, here we go.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which are you gonna?
Yeah.
Know which one you're throwing out there?
Those are my
You can
new
put 'em-
ones.
oh my god, I'm gonna reset the
And
timer.
Well, that's your old. This is an old one too.
Yeah,
Yeah, these are old ones,
Okay,
so you
all right.
leave the old ones because
These
you
are
can
pretty
use
sweet,
both.
too.
Because you
Okay.
can use
Yeah.
both.
Oh, you can
And
use
I'm
both.
You can
Jonah.
use as much as you want.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
you kind of have to
you gotta
incorporate
have the
one.
thread.
Oh, I see,
Yeah.
I see.
Because it kind of threads all the things together,
What I
right?
just
Do you have
said.
to use the other two first, or can you do it? Can you mix
You
it
can do
up?
whatever you want.
Freeform.
All right. So, from the weavings of the Great Mother who resided at the center of emptiness, whose very blood had given birth to all myriad beings, those very myriad beings moved silently across the earth. They moved among all of the things and all of the creations that did not differentiate between them. It was not until one among them, a demon, decided that the stars needed names. The mother begged, do not name the stars because you will only dim them with names. You will only dim them with words. Yet the demon persisted. And from his mouth issued the tongue of flame, which set the world ablaze with meaning, and it was bad.
Ooh.
All right.
All right,
Right?
take your cards back.
Cheese and rice.
All right, there's my older ones.
It's a-
So many generations passed, and our great city flourished. And since the early days, when the warrior left into the west, there had been no sign of the warrior, and no signs of strife. There was plenty of food for everyone. And unbeknownst to our citizens of the city, a stranger had appeared amongst their midst, who had in fact come from the west. And this fellow, who is not named in the tale, was there on behalf of the warrior. The actual intent of this spy was unknown, but he was clearly there gathering information. And he eventually found his way to the smith's smithy, where she had set about creating a great many tools for the populace to use in their continued growth of their farms and continued growth of the cities, and yes, even the building of some walls. In the far corner, out near one of the barns, there was a snake nest, and that creature had lived there for quite some time, and had given birth to a great many, or laid a great many clutches of eggs over the generations. And the snakes went about through the barns and generally, kept the rat population down, and made sure that so much of the grain and wheat that was on store wasn't being destroyed. Now, most people didn't think anything of the snake. It was just an animal like any other that lived in the corner. But the spy startled the snake when he was in there looking about, and with his quick blade, stabbed the snake through and killed it. But he could not remove the blade from the scales of the snake. So at risk of being caught, he fled, leaving the thin blade in the body of the snake in the corner of the smithy, where the smith would eventually find it and realize that there was trouble.
All right.
Killing snakes.
Killing snakes. What's your
take on that, Rick?
what's your religion? Killing snakes.
Killing
snakes.
snakes. I'm okay with that one. That's
All
not true.
right. I had originally the cloak and the grave,
Yep.
the ocean and the tree.
Yeah. So you got to use the ocean and the tree, and you're going to use one
One
or
or
both of those.
Yeah.
Can you see this little timer here?
I can.
too? All right. Cool. So you ready to rock?
I
and
am
roll?
ready to rock and roll.
All right.
So having sprung from the grave, he was filthy. And having let forth the universe from the cloak, she was tired from all this effort and civilization. At this dawn of civilization, she decided that she must cleanse herself and finds herself in the ocean that she has created to cleanse herself from the filth of the grave. And as she emerged from that, all the dirt and all of the water that ran from his body, his form, a tree sprouted up. And mankind was the rest of that dirt and filth that fell from the shapeless form of he, and she decided that these would be her people, and they began to worship her at that point.
All right.
Crap, you're done already?
Cool. I keep turning my
can do
story
this, I
over
can
and
do
over
this.
in my head. I'm like, oh, I want to do this. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, maybe that though. Ooh, but, oh man. I don't know. I don't know.
The liar's kiss.
The shield and the angel.
Mm.
Okay. Okay.
Too close to that. What?
So as we spoke of in the beginning of the liar and the kiss, and how the man that used to only speak truth was broken by that kiss, found himself wandering about trying to find a new group of people to belong to, since he had lied to everyone and they shunned him from that village. Well, he came upon a nice, beautiful road, and it was sparkling, and it was lovely, had flowers. It looked very inviting. Well, he walked down this path where he met this woman, who again, he was fearful that it might be someone to turn him, but remembering that he had the power of the lie, he tried to turn her and speak to her, but it turns out she was the angel, and it was a trick. It was trying to entice him to continue down the good path and to not to turn her, but since he himself was the liar, could not be good. And with this, she knew she had to protect the nearby village where he was wandering to, and she created a shield to cover the whole land, and he could not break through.
Right on.
Oh, that's it.
No, I like it. That is good. That
All right.
Like crap.
was good.
Mine keeps changing.
Sometimes the game's harder than others. Like sometimes
Yeah.
it all just really flows, and
Yeah.
sometimes you're just like butting your
I'm
head
like,
against the wall.
yeah.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, it is challenging
That's how I feel
if
about my finances.
storytelling isn't something that you do often. But I also think that if you are a storyteller, it also becomes challenging because
You want to be good.
you want to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to just be like,
Yeah.
did something, it was cool.
You know.
And I think
And then
what
this
I
guy
like,
showed up.
what I
Yeah.
like about the thoughtfulness of that process is that you're not only trying to tell a good story, but especially when you start conceptualizing it as like a myth and like thinking about it through the lens of a mythology and the way those stories are, and you know, a lot of them fit together weirdly, and they're all kind of
Yeah.
all over the place. And there's kind of these weird themes, but it's not like this perfect linear like this is the story of Zeus. It's like well, I don't know, do you turn to a swan and like. You know, I don't know, fuck the devil or something, right? And then, you know, like, why?
Only
Wait,
on
hold on. And then he
Fridays.
went back in
Yeah.
time, and now he's a titan.
And that's why
or
Fridays
what?
are a holy day.
So yeah, there you go, there you go. All right, so back on topic. We can see my stuff here. Yeah. All right, cool. So Oh shit! I had it and I lost it here.
See?
Why am I talking with my thoughts?
Okay.
Better than the alternative.
So after emerging from the shadow of the great elephant, the merchant looked up and saw the elephant, saw the world around, but the world around was actually bright but not verdant. There was existence but not substance. The merchant, being confused, looking for more than just stepping outside the shadow, climbed to the back of the great elephant. It took a long time. It was dangerous. The elephant was still moving very, very slowly through the darkness. And eventually, the merchant got to the top. The merchant then came across a soldier. And that soldier was small, yellow and black, had wings, a stingy tail, and pressed the merchant for assistance in slaying the elephant and freeing themselves from the cruel existence that wants to keep them in the shadow of nothingness. And at this point, the merchant realized it was an ant, which I didn't really come up with a good way to slide in neatly. And
Awesome.
the merchant searched around the back of the elephant, found a speck of rock, tiny, sharp little bit, gave it to the soldier, and the soldier flew off, put the little speck of rock right into the eye of the elephant, and it worked its way in over millennia, and eventually the elephant was slain, falling to the ground, and from the corpse of the elephant sprang human, one for each rib.
Okay.
All right.
Now I'm sitting here going, how many ribs does an elephant
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
me too.
Enough that they're way less
It's a
inbred than
multiple of
Cain
the
and
number of
Abel.
licks.
Yeah.
I think it is the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do elephants not have ribs?
Absolutely.
Spoiler alert.
How many licks does it take to get to an elephant's ribs?
All right, so now we are on to
Oh, pouchy time.
the
Pouches.
third.
It
Oh,
is.
yeah, pouches. Sorry, pouches.
All right, all right.
Pouchy, pouchy.
I'm gonna need your pouch.
Oh, sorry.
Just sit there with its mouth gaping open like a weirdo. All right.
What?
2, 3, and 4. All right. Thinking about stories.
Yeah.
Giving points to people's stories.
This is
Oh,
the,
shit.
what we
I
do.
dropped.
this is
Uh-oh.
the most fun part.
All right. Red is.
It's not like you're
that.
connected to any sort of media or anything that's going to be a
Right.
problem for you to like reach under the
There you
table.
Right.
There we go.
Yeah, right. That's probably where we're at. There we go. And then orange. Right. Okay.
All right. So who knows good jokes? Huh?
I don't
Good
know any
jokes?
good
Funny
jokes.
jokes.
Unless you want a streak of beeping.
So what did the ant say to the monkey?
To the soldier?
What did the ant say to the monkey?
I don't fucking know. It's an ant.
Probably like waggled its butt and sent some chemical trails around, thinking that it could understand ants.
That's bees. That's
Chemtrails.
bees.
Oh, ants do the same thing. They leave
they?
trails to follow the.
Well, they leave
food.
trails, but they don't
Yeah.
waggle they don't do the bee dance.
Oh.
So we're actually Alex and I
right.
are working on
There goes the next story.
a game where you are trying
Albator.
to your bees trying to impart like sort of like directional and sort of information to other bees, and you're
Is
doing
this a party
so
game
through-
that involves like butt dances?
basically
Because I'll be disappointed if it's anything other.
It's
than
basically-
It's called twerking.
it's basically bee butt interpretive dance.
right. So it's one part
simulator.
twerk, one part Morse code.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Twerk code. Twerk code. Oh
Twerk
man.
code. Oh, there you
Ooh, I
go.
like it.
TM.
Ship it.
Plain.
All right. So we have issued our points for the second chapter. This next chapter that's coming up is a great hero emerges.
If you all want to call him Rick or her Rick as well, that's fine.
I like it.
You're so subtle.
Man,
I'm just saying.
I'm first.
So
Wink,
subtle.
wink, nudge, nudge.
Is that how we rock? Or what was
Say
the
no more,
rotation?
say no
Rotation
more.
was picking, or rotation was.
We start with
So-
Matt starts picking,
Oh,
but
all
you
right.
start the story.
All right,
Well, you
fair
can
enough.
start picking. No, I think
You
we're
can
supposed to
start picking.
rotate
That's
that
fine.
too. Here you go.
That's fine. Oh,
No, it's your turn. It's your turn.
all right.
I like the
Move
rules
your glass
are
around.
Yeah.
organic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what it is, right? And that's kind of why I sort of forget some of the little details of the rules
Here.
because we played it in
We
so many
five over
different
here?
forms,
Yeah.
trying to get it exactly right. That what we finally settled on isn't necessarily something that we played as much in my mind, even though we played it a ton. Like, I might remember this, but I remember when it was this. We played it a bunch that way. And wrapping my head around, no, actually this way works better, can be difficult for me. Too much cream soda, you know? Too much cream soda.
Yeah.
Cream soda.
It's good for the
It's a lot of sugar. Messes with your
good
mind.
for morale.
I'm not digging any of these.
Now that we're looking
I'm gonna
at
hot
this
take again.
as well, so for our A Great Hero Emerges, we're going to be using 2 new cards and 2 old cards.
Okay.
At least 2 old cards.
These 2 old cards.
But we can use more.
Yes.
Okay, old. Okay.
Yeah. But you have to incorporate
Yeah,
at least 2 old cards.
Okay.
So how long did you guys work on this game?
Well, so it's kind of off and on over a year because,
Yeah.
like I said, I like that. Like I said, initially we had all these ideas about it maybe being more of an engine building type game.
Okay.
Where you're trying to buy constellations so that you can get more dice to buy better constellations, and you're building your mythology, but it's a much more mechanical,
Right.
sort of like a gamey process. And so we played around with a bunch of stuff there. I drew some charts, that kind of thing. And ultimately, we didn't really, it just didn't click until we sat down and both thought the other were going to be upset that we were saying like, hey, this engine building thing is kind of bullshit.
The chest.
Ooh, the chest. It's really about the myths and the storytelling.
Right.
Like, we should probably
That's my
refocus
turn.
on that. And I think I'm the one that said it first, and then they were just like, oh my God, yes. Oh God, yes, we agree. And so I was like, okay, cool. And so then we kind of
Like, it's just a much more complicated thing, and then something like.
we just boiled it back down to what is the
Yeah.
experience we actually want? What is the thing that excites it about us? What is even the thing that excites us about this idea of pips as stars and constellations? And it's this feeling of humanity. It's this feeling of the universality of experience and the ways that we try to contextualize and understand and explain these experiences. The way we're trying to create meaning out of the nothingness that is existence, right?
Sure.
And that is what's really exciting and compelling to us about mythology. And so being able to kind of try to build this sort of loosely put together kind of thing, because we're pretending to be sort of like the great and maybe not so great storytellers of our people.
Sure.
that have found other, sort of like storytellers and myth singers and so forth. And we all meet up and we share each other's stories, and
Right.
that's how we gather more stories, and almost like kind of like a bard sort
We're
of
the
thing,
skull
right?
of our people.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're at our moot.
That's exactly right.
Hope you didn't want a 6.
Only if there's 3.
Oh, wow.
Wow, the ant, the merchant. Let me see. Oh shit! I wanted the fucking ghost. God damn it!
Everybody did.
Well, Volcano and Eagle have the same formula. It's 5-2-2. Wow, look at all the top decking going on.
Yeah,
Because I want the ghost. I really want the
ingrates.
ghost. Dragon.
How about you
Okay.
show the camera what card you flip?
Oh yeah,
man?
that's
Like,
right.
Yeah, all right.
Pro moves.
That's a good one.
The dragon.
And when you top deck, you don't have to have the dice to pay for it.
No,
You don't. That's the thing is, if there's nothing
That's
there
the
that
challenge,
grabs you,
too.
you can just kind of
Yeah.
go for it. Or you might just have stuff that doesn't show up. I mean,
Sure.
there's times where you literally can't really buy anything.
Right.
It's rare. And again, the goal is not to make it so that you can't buy stuff.
Right.
But it's
Yeah,
also
but-
to kind of, like, I really wanted the ghost, but
Right.
I didn't get to choose the ghost. So I'm
Right.
going to have to kind of, go somewhere else.
Right.
Or maybe no one else will get the ghost.
Nobody else is getting it this
Everyone will
this
give it
die
up.
roll.
Everyone will give it up so that I can take it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm in a top deck.
Wow.
I haven't done
so
it
much
yet.
top decking going on.
Perfect.
There, poison.
Poison.
Ooh.
All right, back to me.
Completely satisfied with the results.
I feel obligated to take the anvil.
I mean, that goes.
It
That
really
goes.
does.
Axe, hammers.
I wouldn't know anything about that stuff.
Oh, yes.
I don't know. My husband is a blacksmith.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. When
That's
you
cool.
Called.
Were you not in the room when
you
we were
called-
talking about that?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
fucking forgot, guys.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it's
mean, you're
cool.
talking
it's
about
fine.
web series and
It's
stuff.
fine.
He actually has a web series for.
Right
Understand.
on.
You're
Right
really
on.
only listening when you're talking. It's cool.
Okay.
Hence why I
No,
dug so
no,
much
not
when he
even. I don't
said
even listen
she
to
was a
myself.
Smithy. I was like, yeah.
So I'm
Right?
going to take
Yeah.
the child.
I don't even listen
Taking
to
the
myself.
child. All right.
Kidnapper.
He did say his
Okay.
face was
Amber
angry,
Alert.
Yeah. Rick takes child.
including milk cartons.
Oh, man.
Okay.
You guys should dance. Like, look entertaining.
There we go. Here it is. Here it is, everybody. Ooh.
There's a one and a...
There is no
Are you
other
aiming for
tune.
something? What are you aiming for? What are you trying to get?
Oh, the eagle.
Oh, you really want the eagle? You got no other. Oh,
No,
there's
yeah.
no other two. There's no other two.
It's okay, backup plan.
Oh, she's got a backup plan. I never have a backup
The
plan.
Dog.
It's a dog. All right. Oh, the cave.
Ooh.
Man. I should just
Sweating a little
reference-
bit.
I feel like I shouldn't have said Plato's Cave like straight out. I should have like alluded to that so that
Right.
like people in the know got it.
Ta-da.
Trying to. This is helping me be a better storyteller. It's good. Do I have a fucking ghost, please? Oh yes.
Interesting.
Watch now. I'm gonna do something
Do I
really
have a
bad.
goddamn
I'm gonna do
ghost?
something.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
so-
gonna do something really
right?
bad with the ghost.
Yeah.
People be like, you really
George
want
needs
the
another
ghost?
I didn't
card.
want
George
none.
needs
I
another
didn't
card,
want-
yo.
Oh.
Damn.
It's okay, I'm used to
George
working with
doesn't count.
nothing.
Damn. He needs one more card out there.
There you go.
The hand.
The hand, the mouth,
Deal you the hand.
the poison.
You want the cave. I know you do.
Everybody wants the cave. The cave is where
the
hero. It says
volcano.
a great hero emerges. Where better to emerge from
Than a cave.
Two-part roll.
Yeah, it was kind of staggered.
Yeah.
I am thinking about the hand and the cave, but I'm gonna top deck.
Whoa!
And I get the fish.
Interesting. And the poison.
All right, now we swap.
I hate that card.
So, okay, so here's my old stuff. So as long as I use at least two of these,
Get this stuff in the
as long as
mix.
these at least use two of those, and then I gotta work in this.
The Eve and the
Feeling a little. I'm
Trying to
not
make
feeling
sure it
so
all
inspired.
fits on the thing here.
Yep.
What is
Terribly
it?
inspired today. All right.
See the timer, okay?
Oh, geez. Yeah. Okay. All right. So. All right. So. The folks of the city, word spread of the killing of the snake in the Smith's barn nearby, and nobody could pull the dagger out of the body, and the snake's body sat there and slowly decayed and desiccated, and this dagger, this stiletto, stayed stuck in the corner, and people sort of had this sense of impending, if not doom, but impending trouble. Like they knew there was trouble coming from the west. So it was that within a few years, an individual came out of the West with a great army at his back. And at first, there were rumblings that people thought, oh, the warrior had returned. But no, it was in fact the spy. And the spy, having stabbed the snake, had somehow become envenomated by the stabbing of the snake, and a poison had leached up into the spy's hand, and had withered his right arm away, up his shoulder, up part of his neck, and decayed a full half of his face, such so that that one of his eyes was clean gone, and he'd replaced it with a black opal. With a great army at his back, and torches and fires and the rattling of sabers on the horizon. So it was that the smith, now old but very able-bodied, revealed that over the years she had been almost weaving the skin of the snake that had lived in her barn and all of its get for all these many years, and had used it to forge a great suit of armor that she wore herself, and raising her hammer aloft, called for the vigilance of the people as they rallied around her to prepare for what was sure to be a terrible onslaught.
All right. Moving on.
All right. So back to the beginning, we got our cloaking grave, our ocean and tree, and our new story elements around a child in a chest as our hero emerges.
Ready to go?
Yeah, I am, yes. So over time, she who had no name and he who had no form would take and become other beings and interact with her people. He would sometimes find a mate, and from those mates, children were born. One such child was shunned by all the others. And one day, while going through his father's things, came upon a chest, and within this chest he found an item, a weapon of great power. And this weapon emboldened the child to go out and make a name for themselves. Because though the people may shun him, he wants to do everything he can to make them safe, and he would go out and do all these great adventures, and he became known for being this very heroic individual, bringing good fortune to the cities that he would go to, and eliminating any threats that would come and encroach upon his people. And there is our hero. His name is Maui.
I thought you were going to say Hercules. Right. Boop. All right, go ahead. So this angel who had shielded this last village of civilization from the liar was having troubles keeping that shield up to protect those people. And one person emerged from the crowd who was a great storyteller, who had found a magical book, who learned as she wrote words into this book, things were created. And she knew that she had to help this angel protect their people. And so she wrote this story of this great being, but did not know what shape to give it to protect until she had an image in her head in a dream, and it was the dog. And so therefore she wrote this story, this great story, and in it spoke of this brave dog who was as large as a man. And from the pages, magical mist arose, and this dog came about, and it went to the outside of the village to protect it on the outside of the shield from the liar. There you go. A little better. Warm it up a little bit. Towards the end of the game, I'm getting a little hang of it.
Well, that's good. You kind of slide in, you get in your groove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming up with the words and the thing and the place with the guy.
Just do this like prayers.
Whew.
Here's the firmament.
Here's the old stuff. Here's the new stuff. Rocking and rolling, looking good. This is all just an excuse for me to have more time to think. All right. So as humans begin to emerge from the ribs of the now decaying great elephant, they looked around and found that a great number of birds and beasts and verdant land was sprouting in the decaying remains of the great elephant. Eventually, the elephant sort of faded into nothing itself, and everything else, the world sprung up from its corpse. But when the last little drop of elephant blood was absorbed and turned into soil, the ghost of the elephant was finally released. And the ghost trumpeted that humanity was doomed to suffer. Humanity, being terrified, reached out looking for any help they could get. They found the soldier who had slain the great elephant, and the soldier had nothing to offer. And they went searching out the ant merchant, who searched far and wide and found them a tiny seed pod. And that seed pod could be blown like a little horn. And the ant said, "This will save you." And human took it, blew it, and turned into a dragon. And that dragon fought back the ghost of the elephant and banished it into the world of nothingness.
Nice.
Nice job.
That was good. That was,
Got to get me one of those seed pods.
yeah.
Yeah, right?
Right?
And then a dragon.
Now a dragon.
I need a good name. I needed a good name.
Yeah, it was good.
Also, I realized I wanted to try to make an elephant noise, but I didn't want to interrupt my story.
Oh, for your hero? A good name? Rick.
Rick. All right, so Rick. Rick. It's very, very
Well known in
mythological.
many myths.
Very mythological.
It's biblical.
Yeah. Joseph Campbell wrote an entire book called The Rick's Journey.
Hold on. I want to make Can we try making elephant noises? I feel like I'm good at
Elephant noises?
Nope.
Was
Okay,
that-
you win.
was that elephant?
That's
That-
good.
that was
Yeah,
pretty
that's
good.
it.
Trumpet
That was it.
method, like literal trumpet method with a pursed lips. That's
That was
interesting.
pretty
I
good.
wouldn't have
Yeah,
gone there.
I'm
I would
not
have
even
gone.
gonna try
I think
it.
I would have gone deeper throat.
But what do you got? What do you got? I want to announce a contest that we're going to do. I don't know. I'll give you something. But I want you to send me videos of you telling myths.
Is this
It doesn't
anybody
necessarily-
watching the story?
Anybody
Anyone-
watching
anybody
this.
watching?
Anybody
Anybody
watching
watching?
this.
All
It
right,
doesn't
okay.
necessarily need to be. I would like you to actually do this one whole story at a time. Play the game solo, and I want you to tell a story in, like
Sound
a Donald
effect?
Duck voice or just something. I want it to be like old-timey radio play,
Yeah.
maybe. Like
Some jackass is gonna stack the deck and like have it all planned ahead of time.
If
That'd
you
be
tell me a
fine.
wonderful story, like
Yeah.
if it's the mythology of what are Watto's called?
George, what are water species called?
Toydarians.
Tordarians.
Yeah. So if it's the mythology,
I knew you'd know.
yeah.
I'm not even a Star Wars
Yeah,
guy.
we gotta let the dice decide,
He's dragon. It's very good finding of world.
You stacked deck, you tried to trick me.
You ready,
Like one of
George?
my uncles.
No sky, only stars.
Yeah.
Oh, this was all before George's turn. That's messed up.
Yeah.
It's okay.
No respect.
I got this. All right.
No respect.
So my original cards are the mother, fire, the demon, and the mouth.
That was a very weird juxtaposition. Gear shift.
My two new cards are poison and the fish. All right. So
I like that band.
poison and the fish. It's better. It's the only, it's the only kind of
Good band.
fish I could tolerate. All right. So after the institutionalization of meaning, the demon grew in power, so much that it lumbered over the land, and where it walked, banks grew in its footprints. Its body dripped with coins and poison of reason. And as it passed through nature, nature was contrived and and instead of its natural form, became a reflection of man. And no one could think of anything to stop the demon. So, in the folds of the mother's great and infinite dark skirt, a small child emerged. She could not speak and she could not hear, but in her mind, where others would have dreams, she held stars. Her thoughts were boundless, uncontained by the Logos and the Word. So, as she moved out onto the desolate plain where the great and terrible demon stood, he attempted to pound her with words and an assault, an avalanche, a meteor storm of reason. But because she could not hear, and because she could not speak, and because her mind was filled with stars, it was easily absorbed into a great pool of nothingness. And so, because this demon was built at its very center by a need to differentiate itself, to be more, to be explained in the face of the mute-deaf girl, it could not be. And so it faded from the world, and everything was once again at rest. I have no idea what this was about.
I don't know. I mean, where was the fish?
The
Yeah,
fish
where
was
The
was
fish was the scales. Oh, did I not say that?
No.
Oh, all right. Well, I should
Also,
be
there was a
penalized.
fish. She hit the demon with
Yeah,
a fish.
yeah.
And also
And like on the
And
way to
then-
see the demon,
and
she
then-
just
She
like
got
hooked up some lake
sushi.
trout at 7-Eleven, and it was good.
Dude, your 7-Eleven sells lake trout?
Yes.
That's
What?
messed up.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
That's what I mean. Lake trout is a wide variety
Holy crap.
of water-dwelling entities. It ranges from perch to whitefish. And a
Yeah, but
number
like
of
they
others.
sell fish at your 7-Eleven. That's not a thing I would buy. at
What do you need?
7-Eleven.
I need your dainty purse.
Oh, the purses, sorry.
There are a lot of things you should buy in Baltimore. That
Yeah. Okay, all right, star votes.
The list is endless.
Oh,
It's like that, yeah. It's like that time I bought fish from a Sheetz, and my wife asked me, "Oh, it's." She says, "How is it?" I said, "It's not very good." She says, "You're eating gas station fish." I said, "Oh, well, I guess it's pretty good then."
Oh,
it's Rick's.
this is Rick's.
No, that's Matt's.
So when you put the orange one
Oh, see.
All right, soldier and the and
Oh wait, did I miss one?
And the
I missed one.
oh, I don't know.
No, I have 2 stars left.
in,
Ah, crap.
All right.
Oh, hold
Oh
on.
no, because I haven't done yours yet. Okay.
All right.
We're good. We're
Okay.
good.
All right.
Who's the
all
purple
right.
one?
Rick's the purple one. So I got
Okay.
one. I got one more star to put in Rick's.
Are you the
Okay.
blue?
Yeah, I'm blue.
Figures.
right?
He's always blue.
All right. So let's clean
Only
up.
'cause you don't love me.
Clean
the
up
way
your
you
mess
just-
here.
Girl,
There
please.
you go.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
That's ooh, the horse.
How you going to treat me?
Wheat.
How are you going to treat me like that?
What do we got out
table
here?
rake.
The house, the horse, the shark, and wheat. Okay.
And the whale.
And yeah.
I ain't seen the whale.
Ooh, the
Yeah,
whale.
He just doesn't care about
whale.
You should take the whale to go
Yeah,
for
maybe you don't want a
fish.
6.
Why do you keep saying it like
Poop
that?
on it.
I am top decking the lion.
There's a lot of animals up in here. All right.
You're up.
All right.
Oh. Okay. At the
have
end
no
of
idea where my story
days.
is
We're in
going.
chapter 4. End of days.
Oh, I got a thing. I got such ideas.
Bam.
Oh. Whew. Okay.
Really needed that house.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. I wanted the house. I wanted the house so much.
Desert.
The dessert.
Give me that wheat.
Fuck. Give me that.
I mean,
wheat.
ooh.
Wow, you didn't get a 1 or
I
a
like
2. You
Yahtzee
suck.
twice.
Wow.
You didn't get a 1 or a 2.
All I got were 3s.
Lots of 3s.
Well, too bad I don't want. God damn it.
There's a shark?
Yeah, there's a
I
shark.
wanted
It's a
wheat in the
6 and a
house.
4.
I wanted the
Oh, you
wheat
see
in
the
the
shark.
house.
Oh, he's top decking.
The bridge. Okay, I'll take that.
Bridge. All right. All right, George. Put your bridge on camera, yo.
Oh my God.
There we go.
The bridge.
Nice. All right, George.
The bridge.
We should kind of go no faster. Hope you didn't want a 6 either. Damn.
Wow.
Ooh, I lucked out.
Man. What'd you take?
I'm taking the desert with a 3, a 2, and a 5.
Nice.
All right. What do you got here? The candle. All right.
Okay.
Oh. There's all your 1s, man.
My wheat. Not my wheat. Now's the
Wow.
time when we should be doing all our funny voices
Yeah,
and stuff,
I'm
right?
top decking.
Huh?
I'm not feeling any.
Now's the time when we.
Ooh,
seed.
The seed. All right.
The end is coming, and when we get raptured, we want to be making Donald Duck voices.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Man,
Exactly.
When they find nothing but our pants.
It's all that's left.
Hence the Donald ducking.
Yeah, it's actually
Snatched bald-headed from incarnation to emulate the duck.
the duck.
I'm gonna take the candle.
Oh, you're taking the candle. I thought about the candle.
Candle's pretty good.
That's the best I got.
Okay, so my turn again?
The hurricane. If you got that first, you can just recite the lyrics to that Bob Dylan.
To that Bob Dylan song? Yeah.
Just like-
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally
That's
here's
automatic-
here's
automatic
the story.
winning, right?
Here's the story of the hurricane.
Yeah, yeah.
The Rock and the Hurricane.
There you go.
Yep. What were you hoping for? What did you fail to get?
The hurricane.
Oh, the hurricane. You need 2 1s for the hurricane. I took all the 1s this round.
1. 1, 1.
You want some 3s?
Well, there's literally not a card out there with a 3 on it.
Good job.
Yeah.
I'm like,
game sucks.
I see
I'm a
stars.
winner.
There's stars up there, I guess, man. I'm like looking at the other side of the sky.
Right.
I'm like looking at the sunrise. I'm like, I don't see any stars.
It's kind of interesting too, as we're sitting here and you have to make those choices on how is this going to fit my
Yeah.
end day story.
Oh yeah, no,
You know.
it's yeah.
You gotta know what you're about.
yeah.
There's got to be a plan,
The days they are ending.
or at least a structure.
Wait.
Oh,
Wait, I got
five,
excited.
4, 5. There you are. You're good. You're good. All the
Am
way
I?
closest
Am
to
I?
me.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, woohoo!
All right, I want a 1 and a 2.
What did you get?
Ooh, the skull
Whale.
is such a good finish. But I want that wheat. I want that wheat.
No ones. Oh, you got a
Yeah,
one?
one
Oh,
and
look
two.
at
There
that.
you go.
All right. There's your wheat.
Interesting. I'll trade you.
Is that better? Is that better control
I'll
desk?
trade you wool for wheat.
Famine.
Wait, dang it.
I'll trade you an
This
elephant.
angle looks like a squid.
You up, George?
It does.
Oops, sorry.
That's fine. I'll handle all the courtesies, apparently.
I'm sorry.
Neither of us were paying attention.
Sorry, I wasn't looking this time.
That was a weird roll.
That was a weird
It
roll.
felt uncomfortable. I would do it
It-
again
uncomfortable.
just because of this. The aesthetic of the sensation was off.
Yep, you got
skull.
it.
You
I
got
will be
double
taking
ones.
the skull.
All right.
Nice.
All right.
I like that
give me
it's
something good. What do we
snake
got up
eyes
here?
for the skull.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, the
back to-
Yeah.
scorpion's pretty
Yeah.
good.
The scorpion.
Oh wow, you have the hurricane and the scorpion.
I can't take
There we
both.
go.
Whoa. Sounds like a good concert.
Here I am. Rock you.
Man.
The great hero Rock.
Like-
who was like a hurricane.
Yeah.
From the forgotten land of Germany.
Oh, they are German, aren't they?
Yeah, everyone thinks they're Russian because of that Gorky Park song.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm not feeling any of these. Like, what is
Do
going
it.
on?
Do it. Take that top
That was
deck.
the whistle that I used to use to call my cat when I was a teenager. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
She'd
the
freak
one
out
I
about
can't
it. Yeah.
I don't want that. I don't. Man.
Do it. Do it.
I think I want the famine, but there's. I don't have a 3. So I only got 1 3.
Yeah, famine's pretty good for the end of days there.
Yeah. Right.
Turns out.
Wine.
Also good for the end of
Well,
days.
you had to take that.
Yeah.
Let the fate decide.
I have a big tattoo of Dionysus on my back, actually.
Nice. Does it look good? Are we good?
It's
Sure.
beautiful.
All right, here we
hit
go.
it.
All right.
It's like an ocean of knowledge.
Hit that button, sir.
Oh, yeah, that's my job.
Yep. Yep.
All right. So, over many, many generations, the child that grew to be the man who became the hero became very prideful, but was found to be the most loved of all the children of she who had no name and he who had no form. And one day in his elder years, he decides to take on the last challenge, the prideful lion as well, to show that he didn't have pride, but the lion did. And the mother and father knew that the child could not defeat the lion. And when the fight was raging and the final blows were about to be dealt, she without no name and he with no form stepped between them and was raked from behind and sliced from the front and torn asunder. And in doing so, he who had no form was cast away, and she who had no name was cast in another direction. And because they have no name and have no form, they are destined to never find one another again. And also civilization is doomed if they cannot. And in all hope, this is why we as a civilization light this candle every night in hope that they will find their way back together.
Aw.
Ooh, I like it.
That
I
almost
like
made me
it.
cry.
I like it.
Aw.
Ooh, I like it. Adding ritual? This is great.
Ooh. Shit. All emotional now. Okay. Doop.
This was supposed to be a not safe for work one, but here we are. We're just like,
Got all-
I put a lot of my heart in that one.
Yeah. Tugging on my heartstrings.
My feelings.
Right.
I never
So these
feel
are my
safe when Rick
2 new
cries.
ones. I pulled the house and the whale, and then here's all the where I started. Okay. Oh, you did already. Okay. So
Reset.
last we saw, we had the dog that was emerging to protect the town and the last of civilization from the liar. Well, the dog could only fight for so long, and the angel, fearful that this last of civilization, this last of humanity would not succeed and live on and continue, she had to find other ways. And she knew the shield was a form of protection. And from that, she decided to create the house, to hold everyone, to hold the families, to hold hope and truth. And the liar, seeing her build this house, knew he could get in, knew he could weasel his way in. And so she knew she had to take this house and put it somewhere far, far away. So she created the whale. Now the whale was a form in the shape of a whale, sure, but it was a creation of energy and hope and dreams, and it did not swim in the ocean, it swam in the skies, among the stars. And so she placed this house on top of the whale and sent it on its way. The liar, being the only one left in its place, deteriorated because he had no more lies to tell, and that was the end of his days.
Nice. There you go. Good job.
Thanks.
All right, gotta lay all my stuff in here.
Matt's stressing. I can tell.
The whale, the shape of a whale.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. All right. So with the great elephant vanquished away into nothingness, humanity flourished. They built science, they built culture, they built a civilization. They built bridges. They planted wheat. They built houses. They hunted whales. But
Where's the sword?
in the under of the bridge, the soldier created his own civilization of wasps. But the humans didn't like that, so they burned out the soldier wasps. In the wheat, the merchant ant built a great kingdom beneath it. Humans didn't like that, so they burned out the ant. But there was one ant left, the original ant from which sprung all of creation. And that ant did not take kindly to having the world before besmirched and destroyed and disrespected by humanity. And so the ant called forth the great dragon that had vanquished the ghost of the elephant. And that great dragon destroyed humanity for its hubris and poor treatment and general shittiness. And so existence was cleansed of the filth of humanity.
Dang. You
Ouch.
got dark real quick in your
Yeah,
world.
dude.
I appreciate your optimism.
Spoiler alert, it's a metaphor.
Yeah, I think once, because this game is not out yet. This will be out at Gen Con.
This
that
is
correct?
out at Gen Con, yeah.
I think once
August 1st.
people get this in their hands, and if they do record their stories,
Yeah.
that's going to be fun to see
be a
people
lot of
posting
fun.
those and just the creative minds that everybody has
And
out
where
there.
the stories are going to turn.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, send me stories
don't
of.
just have to do
I want to
the
hear.
voices.
I want to hear funny Donald Duck ones, but then also if you want to take serious ones, I guess we'll give prizes to those too. But remember, I'm
You'll
going to
get
look.
a star.
I'm going to look at a lot of these, so try to be stricter about your 60 seconds. I want like a 5-minute video.
Yeah.
I don't want like a 30-minute epic.
Yeah.
A Homeric duck.
Expressionistic dancers and like.
And
Agony
then
and
Donovan
ecstasy.
returned home and only the dog recognized him.
Perfect. So how does yours end?
Oh my God, we're totally off here.
I'm sorry. Are we sorted?
I don't know, we're okay-ish.
All right, now I'm like, instead of looking at the cards, I'm looking at the screen. It's brilliant. All right, so 6 previous cards. Desert and the Skull are my 2 new cards.
Ready?
Yep. So long after the demise of the demon, and long after the short life of the girl, civilization reached its dreadful culmination. The land had been scorched, drained of all goodness, and left nothing but a desert. The body of the demon had been picked clean, his scales used as coin. The little girl was naught but a skull, her body picked clean by the crows of madness. And so it was that the last man, holding his hatchet, who had long lived in the woods that were no longer, stumbled upon the burial heap upon which sat the pristine white skull of the mother's child. Thinking no more of the world before and the troublesome creations of his species, he raised his hatchet high above his head and brought it down on the little girl's skull. And from it, the stars erupted, returning to the sky, and this ball of dust was forgotten for all time.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. that
But
was
who
good.
lived to tell the story?
Who's the guy with the axe?
I really thought it was going to end with him like axing
me
himself
too,
in the
me
face.
too.
I was like,
Me
damn.
too.
You were like, you want to see dark, motherfucker.
I thought he was gonna go like this. Whoop.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Ready to rock and roll? Oh, we gotta
well.
do it for the fans.
Watch that.
Yeah,
You gotta look at the screen. Look at the screen there. Look at the screen. This is exciting. This is what people want to watch on a video. Is us like poorly interact
shit.
with like the
camera
blocking.
shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's what we do.
My one critique of the game is that the cards are extraordinarily slippery.
That's a Kurt problem.
There you go.
That's a manufacturing problem. That's not Creative's fault. Like, okay, all right. So here are my new ones. The great battle between the followers of the Smith and the descendants of the warrior and the corrupt spy, raged for 1,000 nights. Great fires were set. The fields were burned to ash. Many thousands of lives were lost. And so it was that the final battle happened out on one of the far fields where the grapevines grew. And there it was that the scale armored Smith met the one-eyed spy who had desecrated her home by killing the snake. And in the climactic moment of the fight, the hammer of the Smith smote down the spy who had come to the battle with the axe of the warrior from all those many generations ago, and cleaved the legs out from the Smith, and they both fell to their doom. In the silence that followed, the black opal that had been placed inside the eye of the spy cracked open and gave birth to a snake that slithered off into the west. And then days after that, a new grapevine began to grow in the skull, the empty socket of the decaying body that had been left behind. And so the tattered remnants of the peoples scattered to the four directions. And to this day, that is why now, during the coming of age ceremony, when you have your first glass of wine, it is determined whether you carry in your heart the spirit of the warrior or the spirit of the smith.
I like that a lot, except it wasn't
like
really.
that's where
It
my
didn't
family
feel like
came
the
from.
end of the days, though.
It was the end of the first age.
Into your first age.
It was
All
the
right,
end
all
of the
right.
age of gods.
I liked it. I mean, I liked
I feel
it a
like
lot.
this was the story of my people,
See?
of the vineyard.
You sing the song.
Yeah.
All right.
The vineyards
This is
that
our
bear the
last
smithies.
point giving. We're gonna pass
I mean,
these.
even after Ragnarok,
pass
there's
our
still
little
more.
purses around.
Okay.
All right, here you go.
Don't
Have
look,
my-
Rick.
I'm not
my
looking.
purse. What's happening here? Hold on. All right,
That's
green.
right,
Okay,
yeah.
green is okay. So that's yours.
You can look at the top of our little things. It'll tell you who's who.
I know, but George was getting the bits all mixed up.
I didn't even notice that the pouches matched the cards.
Did they? Hey, what? Oi.
Pouches match the card. That's how you can keep track, yo.
Okay.
Shit got real.
Red.
I don't know if you know, but I'm actually naturally blonde, and it's been a while since I've dyed my hair, so.
Purple. Okay.
I just got dropped a lot. I think that's the issue.
That's yours. And then purple.
I get hit in the head a lot. Does that count?
There we go.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
So now we have our little purses.
Oh,
but
do we do
the
the-
last thing we were going to do is we have
moment
these
token.
tokens. We
Okay.
have these little tokens here. You can see them. They look pretty cool. Yeah, social media. Take some photos of us looking cool. We're going to take turns calling out specific moments that we really loved in the game. You
Yep.
don't have to call out everyone. You can call out only one. You can call out the same person multiple times, and then ultimately it's going to culminate in you giving this token to someone, and it's going to be worth 2 extra points.
And for
Okay.
cinematic emphasis, you could say, well, I really liked X, but when I really think about it,
So I can start on this one
Okay.
because I know how it works, right? So one moment that I really, really loved was when Rick brought up the man with no shape, woman with no name. I thought that was just like such a beautiful mythological dichotomy sort of thing that was just great, just absolutely great. Actually, I'm just gonna give you that.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I'm just gonna give it to you. I have other stuff that I want to talk about with you guys, but like, we'll move on. We'll move on. 'Cause
All right.
You guys can talk about those things.
Just show your
yourselves.
token.
Yeah, I'm not giving it to a. Can I break out of the mold? I thought your what's the word? I'm like canter or the
Cadence?
Cadence. Yes. While you were telling your stories, it kept me very focused. It didn't
Oh.
feel like you were wandering, and I really appreciated
Aw.
like how easy it was to listen to your narrative. So that
Aw,
was
thank
yours.
you.
Yeah.
Yay.
Interesting. So it's not so much a moment, so there's
No.
some points for delivery.
Yep. Some movies are simple.
yay.
Some movies are simple. They're just very well made.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Points for
Yeah,
delivery.
yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah.
I can dig it.
I thought I did awful, so yay.
All right. Man, so I'm waffling. I love Matt's like elephant shadow.
Yeah.
Like just as
Yeah.
the start and how it all sort of looped back around with the shadow thing. But I think I'm gonna throw this Rick's way as well. For his ending, felt like it just he really stuck the landing with the the landing just managed to wrap it all up and also feel like a proper ending. And that's often the hardest part about this game. I think is.
Nice.
Is not just feeling like we've got this meandering thing with this crazy stuff that happens somewhere along the way. Like yours felt like a cohesive whole.
Oh, thank you.
To jump back in on another thing that I really liked that both of you guys did that I thought was super cool was adding like the ritual aspect.
Yeah.
Like, this is why we do this.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure,
the
right.
candle.
Yeah.
Like I thought
Made it
that
more
was
myth.
great. Yeah, the
Yeah.
candle, the wine. Like
Yeah.
I thought that was like super. Like just it really captured what mythology is used for in a lot of cultures too. It's not just explaining; it's also setting these traditions.
Yeah, they're not always Aesop's fables, you know.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
also sort of like the structure by which we live our lives and take
Right.
meaning from the different
Exactly,
landmarks,
exactly.
right?
And so that was
Like
great.
Breaking Bad.
All right. So for mine, I'm torn again between Matt and George because Matt, again, I love the elephant shadow. That is a throwback to many kinds of like mythology things. It's like you have the shadow of something that you don't know that puts you in this darkness, and when you realize what it is, it's kind of very cool. But George, I am going to give it to you because I know after this I'm going to have to go to a dictionary and look up about 5 of the words. And in that, because stuff like that captivates me when someone articulates and puts in just that freaking amount of
George felt very literary.
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It felt like I was reading a book by a very high-brained individual.
High-brained.
High-brained individual.
Well,
That is probably one of the most
you-
accurate descriptions of my brain ever. So.
Yeah, that needs to be a blurb book somewhere. I thought this read a lot like it'd been written by a high-brained individual. Says Rick.
Yeah, well, here's the thing.
My guidance counselor used to
George's-
say that shit.
That's why it deserves to be a quote in a book somewhere.
It's like,
Yeah.
I am not a learned man. But George
Thank you.
inspires me to become one.
Excellent. Last time I was high-brained, I got suspended behind the gym. So.
So for mine, it was hard because our guys' stories was really cool. Yours with the elephant, stuff like that. Like as you were telling the story, I almost could. I wasn't just following along with it, but like I felt like I knew the myth. Like I knew.
It felt
it felt so familiar.
I don't want to interrupt, but
yeah,
like,
no,
but like,
go for
like,
it.
Despite it being an African animal,
Yeah.
like it felt very Native American. Like there's
Yeah.
a certain
Yeah.
sort of like there was
Yeah.
this giant animal,
Yeah.
and that's the reason why the world is the way it is. Like it
Yeah.
felt like there's a lot
Yeah.
of that in North American myth.
Yeah, which I grew up around, so like that felt, very like I'd heard this story when I was little, or something like that. And then George, the way you tell those stories, like he was saying, like it's nuts. Like every time you were talking, I was like, go
Yeah.
on, yeah, more, okay, go on. And then Rick, like you sucked me, like some of it for me, like I felt like again, like I heard the story before, but I was still interested. And then you just brought it home with that ending, like it was nuts. But I'm actually gonna give it to you, because not only like with your storytelling, the way I liked the battle of the two, two
Sure.
things that are so alike. You have an axe and a hammer, but it is so east and west, and just the way it was brought in, and then it was just I don't know, like just the moment with the snake and, not being able to pull the stiletto and this and the people trying to battle together, but then realizing impending danger, like stuff like that, like just that all real it
All right,
captured me.
thanks.
So,
Yeah,
there you go.
the hammer and the
Yeah.
and the axe bit was the
Yeah.
only bit I felt really good about.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
The
So
rest of
here's
it was a bit meandering.
that's great. So also, I like that everyone brought me up and then like didn't actually give me the thing.
Sorry.
So that's fine.
Yeah.
That's
Names
fine.
on the box. It's fine.
You're
First,
welcome.
first loser. Hold on.
Okay.
I want to do this. We're gonna do this
Okay.
like what we're gonna do is we have our little zones here, and we're gonna do a little reveal where we're all gonna reveal our own little things
Okay.
and see how we did.
All right.
Each-
all at once.
All at once?
All
All
Okay.
at once.
Here we go.
There you go. You're good. I think I'm too far.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
All right.
All right.
I'm not gonna do
Oh,
Well, George has all the orange ones. It's okay.
here's my
Orange
bonus.
is the best, right?
All
Orange
right.
is fours
So we
and
can see
threes.
who sucked. It was me.
Jesus.
So yeah. So you can
No,
just.
it was me.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
It was me.
George.
You have more oranges than I do.
Yeah, but you have like way more yellows. Well,
Okay.
either way,
Rick, get your stars out here, Rick.
Oh,
Don't be
yeah.
ashamed of your stars.
either way,
Don't be
I feel
ashamed.
like we all know who won this one. This is one of the most
Pretty obvious.
impressive
Yeah.
You can just
Yeah.
color code it,
totals
right?
I've ever
Yeah.
seen.
Oh, I guess I gotta
literally only two blue stars.
So only 2 people thought you sucked.
And and you know why? I will tell you right now, one of them was me. Because when you like just completely fucking left out the fish, I was like,
I deserve
I was
it.
like,
Yeah,
go for it. I was like, go
yeah,
for
the
that.
fish was
I was like,
fine.
everything was
the other
great.
Yeah.
one, the other one I gave him for the same reason.
Yeah, I was like, everything's great except you didn't use the fish. So on
Yeah.
But the
technicalities,
important
Yeah.
thing
on
is,
technicalities,
point.
it's a
the
2.
important,
What's the
the
point?
take home from this is cheating is how you win.
It also shows that the rest of your story carried so
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So
This, I have to say, I'm really amazed because, like, I felt like I was very bumbly. I felt very, caught up in my own words, my own mind, like, because I would have, like, a story going on in my head, and then I would hear all your stories, and I was so captivated and enthralled that, like, by the time I went to tell mine, I was like, what? Words? I mean, the whale's the shape of the whale.
I love
But,
love
like,
that.
the
I love
fact,
that. Whale,
the fact
shape
that,
of a whale.
like, this makes me feel really cool. Like, it
I
gives
love
me.
I love that you brought that up
hope.
though, because
Yeah.
I feel like so often with these sort of storytelling games that are just like we're just whipping crap out of thin air.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that feel super intimidated.
Yeah.
Like oh my god, and especially
Well,
once this
honestly,
jackass
like-
starts talking and the
Yeah.
$10 words fall out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Well, and it comes naturally. Like
Yeah.
I say every other 5 words, and it's just. Like I feel like everybody can do it, kind of at
Yeah.
their own way, but they're just these kinds of games can be very intimidating, but I don't think they have to be. I think anybody
and
can
as
tell a
someone,
story.
Like I used to play D&D like all day long when I was in high school, like early college, whatever. But like honestly, I've not played any kind of verbal role playing in probably a decade.
Yeah.
Like probably
Yeah.
a decade. So like me, I was super like I've done this before, but I'm so rusty, and I was so intimidated. And talking to you guys earlier, like I could just see your creative minds like through your words. I know that doesn't make sense, but
Makes perfect sense.
so I was really intimidated with that, and this is such a cool game because the fact of like, okay, I didn't roll that, now I have to come up with a different plan. Now I have to come up, and it gets those, it kind of greases those wheels instead of keeping them rusty. So it's really cool.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
I discovered. So I've played this once before when it was, I guess, sort of in prototype phase or whatever. But like I end up top decking a lot because so often it's sort of like you've got this structure of where you want to go, and then you see the 5 cards or whatever out on the table, and you're like, I don't know how any of those work.
It's like
so you draw a blind, and it's like the sort of the chaos that gets introduced. Like, okay, I have to use this, and it's not something that I've stopped to think about because I thought about the others and they weren't really.
It's kind of like when you flip over like a tarot card to use a rune.
It's exactly like
or the
flipping over a
entrails of
tarot
a
card.
goat or something like that.
right.
We're just trying to like get that
What?
plot.
Yeah.
Until I go.
Yeah.
All right, so what's our standings there, man?
All right, so we're standing here, and this is, correct me if I'm wrong as I'm doing this, but we're going to start at the bottom, because now we're here. I'm a first/last because I have. Wait, hold on, I did my math wrong.
Oh, there it is.
What are you doing? Groups of 10?
Sorry, no. So I have 40. I have 41. Yeah, these are groups of 10.
Groups
I
of
have
10,
41. We have 42. Right? Yeah, 42.
I'm not last.
What's the widget worth?
2.
Where are the 2? Okay.
Over here, I think we have also 42.
Ooh.
Over here, you have a bunch.
48.
8. And then we have George,
1
our winner
million.
here, with 57.
Nice.
Nice.
All right,
So
good times.
one thing that's also that I personally really like about it, and this is something that we put a lot of time and thought into the scoring, right? Because scoring is not really the way, like the key of the game, but it's shaping play, right? And
Yeah. Sure.
and so we wanted to kind of make sure that the scoring felt good. And so if you look at it right now, like we all know that like George crushed it.
Right,
It's like,
of
oh
course.
shit,
Yeah.
George crushed it. Everyone else, we are all like in a pretty tight band.
yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
also like it also sort of like a way to kind of abstractly critique the stories. Like where like you should improve. Like I know, pay attention to what cards you have. In the
Yeah,
future.
well,
and also it's like look at all this stuff I got. I was appreciated. You know?
You got good draws too, though.
Well, when
like
you're-
stuff
I
like
kept
poison
it.
and skull
I
sorts at
kept
the
it
table.
real.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, George has got this
But
a
you
lot.
top decked a lot too, so you were drawing random
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
those random things
Yeah.
are still creating such an amazing story.
Yeah.
You also get to see moments like through like your like looking back at the story you told, and you're like, oh, I bet I got those when I did this thing.
Yeah.
That was-
Yeah.
oh, that portion,
Yeah.
like I nailed
This
that
is-
portion.
this
right?
thing
Oh,
is-
this was all blue and it was trash,
This is,
right?
this
Like,
is
you
shock.
kind of know the
and
moments.
this is a shock.
This
Like,
is
that's
brilliant. To
really
me, though.
cool.
This is the thing that
Yeah.
that it'd be really easy to throw the stars on the table and just sort of like, oh, who got the score? George got the points,
Yeah,
blah blah blah.
yeah.
But this allows us to all have a brief moment where we talk about how cool we thought everybody else was,
Yeah.
and it kind of brings it home in a way that ultimately doesn't make the score really
It
matter.
transitions
Yeah,
the
yeah.
game out better than just abruptly stopping after.
Right.
a third.
I win, you suck.
Yeah, and it feels less
Yeah.
like a competition
Yeah.
at that point,
Right.
and more like, hey, what about all those cool stories that you stole?
Right, absolutely.
Right.
Well, again, it gets back to that idea of like, we're scalds at the moot, right? Like we're sharing these stories, and yeah, we want to be the one who tells like the coolest story, but like we want to hear everybody's story. We love everybody's story. There's
Yep.
great elements that we are going to be inspired by in everyone's stories.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a competition, but it's a very friendly competition.
Yeah.
And
I-
one where we're really highlighting the things we like.
And I also feel like there's the opportunity that from this, of seeing how you used the hammer or the anvil, a hammer and the axe, and how you used poison and fish, and
The best part,
mentioned scales.
Scales.
the best part of your
Scales.
story. The best part of your
Yeah.
story is actually when you used the fish. that was my favorite.
But the thing is,
moment.
Yeah,
like any mythology,
That was the mystery.
You pull from other people's experiences too, and I
Yeah.
think when you play this in other events, you're going to be like, oh, I remember when they used the house in this way,
Yeah.
and that really fits my story that I'm trying to build.
Oh, sure.
And I'm
Yeah.
going to take that mythology that I heard before and make it a part of my mythology.
Yeah.
So I think that's another really cool part of this game.
Once again, this game is.
I love that band.
The game here is Before There Were Stars. It is releasing at Gen Con in just a couple weeks.
It's like 2.5 weeks or something
2.5 weeks.
crazy.
Oh God.
It's gonna be nuts.
Come find us there. Come play it with us. Myself, Alex, Kurt, we're all going to be there. I mean, you guys are all going to be there too, but probably not actively pushing Before There Were Stars. We are. so if you want to talk to us about it, you want to maybe play with us, come find us. And please, seriously, send me videos.
Yeah.
We're going to make this a real thing.
That'd be so cool.
Send me some videos of yourself telling it as Donald Duck or something dumb. And or send us like some nice ones that are all like beautiful and great stories. And, we'll make Alex watch those. So don't forget, we did a second session of this. It's also up on GTM that features Alex, the co-designer, Kurt, the publisher, and some other GTM people.
Yep.
They told some really good stuff. Check that out.
And if you can't make
think
it,
they played
if
the
you cannot
Legend,
make it to Gen Con, if it's not a destination for you this year, you'll be able to pick this up real soon at your local retailer.
Yeah, is there a street
Yeah,
date?
3 weeks after. Great. All right.
So by the end
yeah.
of August, beginning of September,
Sounds
it'll
good.
be
Your
available.
local
can't wait to have it
retailer
in
will
store.
absolutely be able to get it out of
Early
distribution. It's
Christmas
going to be
shopping.
there. If they don't carry it, just ask for it. They'll get it for you, no problem.
Perfect.
So this is Matt Fantastic saying good night, San Diego.